Hello, my name is Jennifer Bannon, and I'm the director here at the the director of admissions at the Functional Medicine Coaching Academy. And I'm very happy to be with you today. Joining me are FMCA's International Relations Coordinator, Mahnaz Malik, and our co-founder, Elise Wagner. Thank you for taking the time to join us, whether you're watching live or watching the recording. We want to spend this time together telling you a bit about us and also support you by letting you know about peers in your region, as well as exciting local organizations. We at FMCA are strong proponents of the idea that coaches will be the future of healthcare, which is why the Functional Medicine Coaching Academy was founded with the Institute for Functional Medicine over 5 years ago. In a world that's seeing a large increase in chronic illness, there's a new model catching on, and that's a doctor working with a health coach. Doctors are bringing in coaches, but others in the healthcare arena are also bringing in coaches. We're seeing growth in corporate wellness and in the private sector as well. Health coaches are needed. Why? Because the model works. FMCA coaches are trained to work closely with clients around all the modifiable lifestyle factors that influence health, such as sleep, relaxation, exercise, movement, nutrition, stress, and relationships. Our graduates gain a solid understanding of the foundations of functional medicine and its root cause analysis approach. They are fully trained to utilize many of the IFM resources, such as the timeline matrix and food plans. This background allows them to understand, with the addition of their coaching skills, support the client to implement functional medicine treatment plans into their lifestyle. A health coach moves beyond the diagnosis prescription model to co-create and execute a plan with the client that inspires them to a path of better health. Additionally, under the delegation of the treating practitioner, a functional medicine health coach may be able to provide further assistance related to labs and supplements. A functional medicine health coach does not assess, prescribe, diagnose, treat, or interpret results. Our graduate skills are applicable to all types of practitioners, from nutritionists to naturopaths and integrative doctors. We are the magic ingredient in the area of behavior change. Our course is 12 months based on a series of learning modules. Content is uploaded onto an online educational platform called Canvas, and you go through the program with a small group of fellow students called a cohort, guided by a course facilitator. 3 times a month at a time you self-select, you'll meet together on Zoom video conferencing to go over the material being covered and practice the coaching concepts being taught. We encourage you to spend time on our website for more information, download our info packet for details about continuing education and other particulars, and then schedule a call with a member of our admissions team. We've just opened our enrollment for our March 2021 class. We'll touch more on that later in the webinar. We welcome students from a variety of backgrounds, not just in healthcare. At this time, I'd like to very excitedly introduce you to Elise Wagner, who is one of our co-founders, and have her share a bit about her story.
Hi, everyone, and welcome. I'm super excited to be here. I'm very grateful for each and every one of you as well. Especially, I want to give a big thanks to everyone who's joined us, Sonia and Tessa and Lorraine and Sandy and Loren, for being graduates and great stewards of functional medicine and health coaching. And of course, Jen Bannon and Mahnaz, also great stewards of functional medicine health coaching. And Jen is our wonderful director of admissions. And I'll be introducing Mahnaz shortly. And I just want to take a moment for all of you who are watching, whether it's now or you might be watching the recording, and say thank you for your time, for just honoring that and coming to learn a little bit more about functional medicine and the Functional Medicine Coaching Academy. One of the things that I always love to share a little bit about is our why and why we got started. And that's actually one of the questions. I'm a big questioner, so I will encourage everyone who is listening and even everyone who's joined us on the call to come back to your why and what made you want to join FMCA in the first place. What was that spark or that that passion that was ignited within you to say, gosh, I want to do this. I want to help, because what I have found over the past 5 years of talking to many prospective students and current students and alumni and keeping in touch with everyone is that the one thing, even though we have students from all over the globe, like literally, I don't even know how many countries anymore. It's just skyrocketed. We really have an interconnected family, just like functional medicine. It's the systems-based approach. We have functional medicine coaches all over the globe. And even though there's different backgrounds that bring people together, the one beautiful thing is their passion. That is the pearl. I feel like that pulls everyone together, and their passion to want to serve and really bring functional medicine and health coaching to the world. And, we did a webinar last night with some of our course facilitators, and I have Mahnaz is a course facilitator. Jen is a course facilitator. So they both get to see this beautiful transformation that comes from when someone first, is interested in FMCA and their prospective student, and then as they make their way, their journey, I like to call it, through the course. And coming back to journeys, we all have a story, and I'll just share briefly a little bit about our story and how we came to be. And like many people, it's typically through a space of pain and struggle and angst with maybe it was a health issue, but specifically for me, I remember I was in grad school and I was getting two masters, one in nutrition and one in clinical psychology. And I never found myself more sick. I was really, really sick. Probably went to about 10 different practitioners. I was in the mecca of holistic health, which was in Seattle, Washington. And here I thought, oh my gosh, I've got all this education and information. Why am I getting sick and what's going on with me? Well, it was really a gift because it did lead me to functional medicine, even though I was already in this holistic integrative space. What happened was I was so sick to the point that my parents almost pulled me out of grad school. They wanted me to come home, which is in Chicago, outside of Chicago, Illinois. And they were gonna, they wanted me to go to the Mayo Clinic and take more of a conventional route. And I just said, you know what, I'm gonna give myself and my body and my health one more chance. And I did, and I'm so grateful that I did, because I went and I saw a functional medicine practitioner who had studied through the Institute for Functional Medicine. And this person, his name is Dr. Donovan, I call him the Don, and he looked at me and he was able to look at all my records, and he said, we're going straight for the genetic test. I think you have an autoimmune disease, and we're gonna figure this out together. And that was so powerful because within about 2 weeks, I would say, I received a diagnosis of an autoimmune disease. I have celiac disease. So on one hand, there was a wave of, I'll say, relief, and then a wave of frustration. Like, oh my gosh, now the work comes in. Now we've got to make a whole lifestyle change. Well, imagine this. I was leaving his office and he gave me 2 sheets of paper. This is how you go gluten-free. Well, that wasn't enough, right? And so here I was, sick as a dog, trying to make all these lifestyle changes by myself. And I remember really getting down about it, sitting on my couch in Seattle, and it's already a rainy kind of place anyways. And I thought, I wish, if I had one wish, it would be that I had someone who was not, they didn't have to have all the education like me. They didn't have to have a master's degrees and degrees in nutrition, but if someone could have the nutrition component and understanding, the functional medicine understanding, just a basis, a foundation, the mind body, the different techniques and tools to calm the mind and help to kind of control emotions, and then the coaching skills that really come out of positive psychology that we teach in the program, humanistic psychology, these strength-based approach to look at a situation from what is going right now, what's going well, how can we meet you where you're at and just start to move forward. And that was my wish, was that once I figured this out on my own, I was going to make it my intention and my goal, truly my pure intention, was to make sure that this got out to the world. And I'm humbled, really, and honored to say that we are making an impact in the world right now. And there are functional medicine coaches, like I said, all over the world who are able to serve in their communities and across countries and continents. And it's crazy and it's awesome. And so my point in telling you that story is that is what was my igniter. That was my passion. That was what fueled me forward. It's what fueled me forward to move back to Chicago and to connect with Sandy and to pursue that relationship and to persevere and to keep reconnecting. And we built relationships and we collaborated together. And then we went on and we collaborated with the Institute for Functional Medicine. And we had a shared vision, a shared passion, a shared dream. And so why I say that and it gives me chills is because truly, I think when we collaborate, when we come together, when we share our passions, anything is possible and we can literally change the world. And we're doing that. And so with that, I just want to, again, come back to this is why your why is so important to have that. And one of the, if you ever do, I do encourage you to reach out to our admissions team because we are there, we're willing, we're here to support you and to really guide you on your decision making. You might get Mahnaz, you might get Jen, you might even get me. I like to take calls as well. And everyone on our team is just there to support you on making that happen or help you create your next step. So and you get to kind of see the coach approach in action on these calls as well, which is pretty exciting and fun. But with that, I do encourage you, if you are curious, and that is one of my top strengths, but curiosity. If you're curious about functional medicine, about how can I really help people, how can I take the skills and the tools that I have, and maybe you're wondering, gosh, I don't even know what my background, maybe I don't have a background in the healthcare field. You don't need one, which is the beautiful thing. You just need to come and be willing to learn, have a love of learning, be passionate, curious, and we've got you the rest of the way. But I do encourage you to connect with someone from admissions, and I'm sure we'll be putting the links and sending you a follow-up email so we can connect with you directly. But with that, I would love to, let me get to my I do have a couple notes here, but I do want to introduce Mahnaz. And Mahnaz is originally from the UK. She lives in Saudi Arabia, and she was in our July 2016 class. She's been with us for a long time. Mahnaz wears many hats, which we're very grateful for. I think I mentioned this earlier. She's a course facilitator. She's on our admissions team. And she also this is a newer role because our international community is growing so much. And one of our core values is community. But she is our international relations coordinator, and I'll let her talk a little bit about that. But in her role as this international relations coordinator, she supports our international community on a couple different levels. So I'm going to turn things over to Miss Mahnaz right now. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Elise. And I just want to say that I think everyone that's gone through the program is so grateful, not only that you had this vision, this intention, but that you had the courage to follow your why, your purpose, and you did whatever it took to create this amazing program and this community. And so we're all, ever grateful to you for that. Really, that's something that comes straight from the heart. And so talking of community, as you just said, I'm really fortunate to be FMCA's International Relations Coordinator. And I have the privilege of serving and supporting this, what I'd call the forward-thinking and pioneering and mission-driven international community of students that actually join FMCA. So just as our founders are these exceptional people that created this, we have a really high caliber of students that join us. It's not just anybody that joins FMCA. And these, students, I get the opportunity to support the connection between them in my role by facilitating the setup of regional groups. So these exceptional individuals, they're creating and driving positive change in health and wellness in their communities. And we're really very proud that FMSA and from CAS's founders, Lorraine Lees and Loren Hilton, they also happen to be FMCA graduates. And I'm really fortunate because I've had the privilege of meeting you all in person in your breathtakingly beautiful country. So I'm going to start with Lorraine Lees. She's the founder and director of FMSA, Functional Medicine South Africa. And Lorraine, I think we can credit you to bringing functional medicine to South Africa. I recall once you saying that functional medicine really struck a chord with you, and you became so passionate about bringing it to as many health professionals as possible. Please share with us how you made that happen.
Oh, thanks, Mahnaz. And just to say, it was a privilege to be your student, but I'll get to that later. So thank you, and thanks for the opportunity. Elise, thank you, for putting this whole thing together. I really appreciate it all. I'm trying to recall the moment that it made sense to me, and I think it's the same with what happened to you, Elise. I happened to be in America, and I met someone who just resonated with me and was talking about functional medicine, who happens to now be on your board or something. I think Christy Hughes, who spoke about how personalized medicine and and functional medicine was so. It was really true medicine, and I was lucky enough to be in the medical field all my life in a pharmacy role. But this really resonated with me because I realized there's something more. And I had this opportunity to suggest it. And I thought, is it possible I could bring this concept, this idea out to South Africa? And it all happened. Sometimes you don't know how, and you don't know where, and you don't even know why it happened, but people obviously connected to it, and we were able to bring out in 2012 we brought out the Functional Medicine Institute of Functional Medicine faculty of AFMCP to South Africa for 5 days. And those of you who know Cape Town, we had it at the Mount Nelson, under the mountain. I mean, it was just totally insane. It was really the most beautiful experience. We got all these doctors on board, and it just grew from there, and it became really people were curious. They came in, they wanted to know more, and from that time, we even before that actually, but at that time it just became a word that people started getting used to, and people started using it in their practice. So sometimes you say it's luck, or sometimes you say it's meant to be. I think it was meant to be. And then of course Loren, you'll introduce Loren, but Loren became interested in functional medicine, and Loren will tell her story. So
can I just
very grateful.
Thank you so much for sharing that. And it just goes to show how, as Sandy and Elise followed their inspiration and set their intention, you also did a similar thing, and you were able to achieve what you achieved. So I just want to quickly ask you before I go on to Loren, is that you actually completed the FMCA program yourself.
No.
So what is your intention behind this?
So the funny thing is, it was through Christy, who suggested, she said, I have someone you have to meet because you remind me of each other. And she said to me, you and Sandy are going to be friends. I don't know how she knew, but she just knew. And when I met Sandy, I just fell in love with her. She's the most inspirational woman, started a career, so late in life, and all the things that she knew and she was teaching is exactly what I needed to learn. And I thought, this is this is for me personally something I didn't know it, but I really need to do this course. And I absolutely loved every minute of it. Every minute of it, I kept telling everybody, I can't tell you how amazing this course is. every time, I mean, everything about it was so perfectly, from beginning to end. If I ever have to promote something, it was so well planned and you know, it's ethical, and it was just a beautiful experience all round. So thanks to Sandy, I did the course, and I'm so happy I did, and I was able to, you know, invite other people to do it, which was amazing.
And thank you so much for that, Lorraine. That really touches us all. Okay, I'm going to move on to Loren. Loren Hilton is the founder and chair of MACASA, which is Functional Medicine Health Coaches Association, South Africa. She's actually also been practicing health and healing for close to 2 decades, I think, and she's very passionate about functional medicine. And she holds a very special place in the hearts of the South African coach community. So Loren, this association was created specifically for supporting and educating functional medicine health coaches. Please tell us more about what you're achieving as an organization.
Okay, so I think what came up for me when I was doing the coaching, which really I love the coaching, and I can give you a whole reason for going into it, also my own journey. But the idea was doing the coaching course and seeing the cohort and how well the cohorts worked, how absolutely fantastic it was for us to connect together in our groups and to share ideas and to actually train each other. And when I finished it, I sort of felt, you know what, we need to continue this in South Africa as functional medicine coaches, to get together, to actually share ideas, help each other, inspire each other, to keep conversation going, and to allow us to actually bring this into the community in South Africa. I also saw a great need in South Africa for functional medicine coaches to help doctors and other functional medicine practitioners. So the idea of setting up the association was, it had a few reasons. The first one really was to educate or further educate functional medicine health coaches, to help them to become aware, or the public to become aware of them. So what we did is we have, through our Facebook page and our social media, we've put their profiles up so that any patient or client looking, or doctor even for that matter, looking for a health or functional medicine health coach can go on, look at their profiles, find out where to find them, and then connect with them. The whole idea for us as well, we really trying to get the functional medicine practitioners and other doctors and medical practitioners in South Africa to see the benefit of working with coaches in their practice. So that was the idea of setting up the association. Like-minded people, basically helping educate clients and help be the bridge between the doctor and the patient.
And you're doing a great job with that, because you mentioned that there's an exciting project that a cardiologist is designing with MACASA. Why is it that he insisted he wants to hire only FMCA trained coaches?
Okay, so that's an interesting one. One of the doctors that I work with introduced me to him. He's a functional medicine cardiologist in Johannesburg who's setting up very interesting sort of centers of excellence. And he approached them saying, I'm looking for coaches, but I specifically would like coaches who understand functional medicine. So this doctor said, well, I know the person that you can get hold of because she has done this course. And what he really liked is he said, functional medicine health coaches speak the same language. We're coming from the same point of view. So the whole Center of Excellence is a whole group of doctors, all functional medicine doctors in various spheres, not all cardiologists. Some of them deal with cardiometabolic syndrome, etc. But what they're looking for is a coach to run the center, and the coach would basically be the conduit between the practitioner and the patient. So the coach would meet with the patient, would then direct them to the correct or appropriate practitioner, And then once they've seen that practitioner, the coach would then get the feedback from the practitioner and continue to see the patient. So that they're wanting the coach to do exactly what functional medicine health coaching, in my mind, is all about, is helping that patient to implement what the doctor wanted them to do. Unfortunately, COVID has put a bit of a hold on this for us. It kind of made everything, as I'm sure you all know, go to a bit of a grand standstill. But we're still in the process of discussing it. And I'm hoping that in 2021, we will definitely start having our coaches in these centers. But it was specifically because these are functional medicine coaches. He was quite specific about that.
Well, that's really exciting to hear, Loren, and that means there are so many more opportunities that are coming up. And I think this is just one example, because no doubt with your drive and tenacity, you're probably going to be creating many other possibilities for these South African coaches. So thank you so much for all that you do for them.
Thank you, Mahnaz.
I'm really pleased as well now to share these 3 wonderful graduates of FMCA working as functional medicine certified health coaches. So that's Sandy Hughes, Sonia Bonsack, and Tessa Brandt. So I'm going to start with Sandy. You're in the 2018 class. It's really great to hear that you're working with a functional medicine practitioner. Would you please give us a bit of detail regarding how you work with him, how that came about, and how training at FMCA actually supported you to work with him so successfully?
Hello, everybody. So the way that I started working with him is that he is my doctor. So a brief sort of story of how I got to functional medicine and into functional medicine coaching. My husband got sick with cancer, and through that process, I found functional medicine, and then just realized I needed to support my own body, and so found a functional medicine doctor who then suggested I do the course, realizing that I was so passionate about this topic. And working with him, I did baseline testing, realized that I was also not in the best place health-wise, even though I've always been on a path of health and wellness. I still work, like this stuff that sits deep in your cells, I was completely unaware of. So by working with him, we already had a relationship, and I was seeing him regularly. And when I started coaching and people were coming to me because they'd seen the change in me, they'd seen how much my body had changed, how much my mind had changed, and how well I was dealing with the grief. They wanted to know how. And so they would come to me, and then I would say to them, but first you need to go and see the doctor. So that's how our relationship started. He is an IFM graduate, so he's done the training, and we were speaking the same language. He developed a referral protocol that he then sends to me. It's a document, and he tells me what he's discovered, what medication or supplements he's recommended, what food plan he recommends I work with, and anything else. So I'll get a lot of information from him, and then I'll start working with the clients. And I'm finding it really beneficial, because a lot of the people come to me not knowing what all their medication is about, not knowing what their condition is about. And I just assure them of what the protocol is and what the doctors recommended, and then help them with their lifestyle stuff. And to me, it seems so simple, really, but what I'm doing is having massive impact on people. And then also the resources that I've received from FMCA are incredibly valuable. I now sit with a toolbox that I can help people with. So I'm super confident in what I'm doing. So yeah, that's how my practice has established this year during COVID, when I had to put down my other business and start up a new business. And that's what's happened for me this year. It's been quite incredible.
It's amazing to hear the positivity with which you're speaking, you know, in a time of COVID, that you're able to create this business for yourself. But you also have some other amazing ventures as well. So I think you, one of them came to while you were hand gliding or something. So paragliding. So, you know, can you share something about those as well, please?
So I have a farm in Mpumalanga, which is a province. It's 3 hours from Johannesburg. It's absolutely beautiful. It's a mountainous area. And I've always dreamed of doing retreats there. And so we ran our first retreat there a month ago, and our next one is planned for March. And we call it a digital detox rewilding retreat for women. And we are getting incredible response. I think people are just so over all the tech and just want to connect with the natural environment, the natural world. And so during that retreat, I introduced functional medicine to them. I introduced the matrix and show them how we work. And after the retreat, people come to me for coaching. It's quite incredible. So I'm doing that. And then I also I've got some online programs that I'm developing. I've done some fasts, which are incredible, and the response to the fasts are amazing. I just did a 3-day fast this last week, ended yesterday, and I had 57 people on board. It was amazing. So I'm really enjoying the online space and being able to have a broader reach. So yeah, that's what I'm working on at the moment, and doing a lot of one-on-one. So yeah, it's all very exciting, very exciting.
Yeah, it's really exciting to hear about it, and all the different things all these ventures that you've created. So thank you for sharing all of that, Sandy. This is really inspiring to hear all that you're doing within this period of time. And so now I'll move on to Sonia Bonsack. So Sonia, you have combined your skill of teaching Pilates with group coaching to provide this unique offering to your clients. And obviously there was a journey to get to that. So please share how you've achieved that.
So my first experience of working with a group or with groups was with becoming a Pilates instructor and having my own studio. And the group dynamics are just so wonderful. Around Pilates, it's a lot of interactive, fun stuff, and it sometimes can be quite competitive. So always with tongue in cheek. And then my next experience with groups was when I joined FMCA, and I was part of a wonderful cohort. And there were 13 of us from all over the world. And we had regular weekly live training sessions, and there was just a wonderful dynamic again within the group experience of support and connection and accountability to each other. And yeah, it was a wonderful experience. And so when I finished my course, which was only recently at the end of August, I immediately put out an email to friends and whoever to do trial group workshops on health, so health workshops. And I had one workshop via Zoom, and the other workshop was live. And in less than about 18 hours, I had 12 women all signed up. So I had 6 for each group, and what a wonderful experience. The dynamics were incredibly powerful. The support, there was an intimate sort of feeling within the group, and I think that there were some really nice friendships that were made, even though everybody had their own goal. We worked amongst the various health topics of the week. It was over 6 weeks. And they had homework in between, and it was just incredibly supportive and fun. So I am continuing with groups and health groups, and I'm also going to do some health retreats. So I'm very excited moving forward.
Oh, it's like makes me want to sign up for all of these retreats because they sound so amazing, especially when they're in South Africa. But that's so good to hear that you were able to literally just, graduate and get out there and start doing these things. That's really great to hear. I want to ask you something else as well about regarding your background, because your background was counseling for a number of years. And then when you started studying at FMCA, you had to shift from this expert approach mindset. Can you share how that process was for you?
Okay. So my journey really started in 2002. My fiance and I had a car accident with a truck. We had a head-on collision and my fiance didn't survive. And what this created for me was a complete different direction in my life. And I then became a counselor and I specialized in grief and grief recovery counseling and coaching. So I did that for many years. And then I then decided to move on, and because I'm a really sporty, active person, I decided to become a Pilates instructor, and I started up my own Pilates studio. And I did that for 5 years. I'm still doing that, and I've realized that it wasn't enough. I'm a very healthy person. It's my passion. I wanted to do more. I'd heard about functional medicine, and when I stumbled across IFM, and I just couldn't believe this was like my dream job. I couldn't believe something like this existed. So I did the course. I started the course, and it was during one of our live training sessions where I had just been coaching somebody, and my feedback that I got was not great. And I was just so surprised, and it was like such a wow moment for me, because I realized that I'd brought the counseling hat into my coaching health experience, and it wasn't appropriate at all. And I then learned to do the coach approach and to use positive psychology, and it was just a big wow for me to move into a forward positive space and leave the counseling behind. And then I very strongly believe that without FMCA I would not be where I am now. The caliber of education, the science-based information, the webinars, the resources, the constant 24-hour support has been phenomenal. I honestly, I don't have bigger words to say, but I just am blown away by what it's given for me and my life moving forward.
Oh, thank you for sharing that, Sonia. That's I really appreciate your words there. It's really great to hear that. Tessa, so moving on to you. Tessa Brandt is from our 2018 graduates. So Tessa, you made a major shift from the corporate world to health coaching after, I think it was over a decade of debilitating rheumatoid arthritis. So please, could you tell us a little bit more about this?
Yes, first of all, thank you so much, Mahnaz and Elise and everyone. I'm so honored to be here. I hope my internet connection stays stable. It's been a little bit unstable. But my journey into health coaching, it certainly began with overcoming my own debilitating health challenges, just like so many of us that are called to this career. I was first diagnosed with an autoimmune form of arthritis, actually in my mid-20s, which is now almost 2 decades ago. And it was later confirmed as rheumatoid arthritis. And I'm honest when I say I probably spent 18 months of my life on crutches, unable to walk. I've had bilateral frozen shoulders. And I was almost at a point in my life where I was ready to claim permanent disability. And I was just, as you said, Mahnaz, completely depleted, just physically from chronic pain and also mentally, because pain can really take its toll. And I remember mainstream medicine doctors saying to me that my disease was incurable, but I refused to believe that. For me, incurable means curing from within. And so I just needed to find those answers, and I found those answers in functional medicine. And functional medicine really, for the first time, looked at the root cause of my disease and looked at me as a whole person. And I found a wonderful functional medicine doctor in Cape Town who first spent the time listening to me and looking at every factor of my health. She ran lots of lab work, prescribed supplements and diet changes. And slowly, over a period of 2 years, my health started to improve. But it wasn't without a lot of struggle and ups and downs, and also expense. And I realized that I'd improved so much and I'd come off so many of this cocktail of medication that I'd been on, but I wasn't yet fully well. And that's when I decided I needed to look further at my lifestyle. And I just dived headfirst into detoxing my world, eating whole, nutritious, real food, and also not being afraid to move. For so long, I nursed my body and I stopped moving. And I just started even with 10 minutes of yoga, sitting in a chair. I couldn't even get onto the ground. And I built it up from there. And now I'm doing full hour-and-a-half long classes. I also prioritize my sleep, and I focus on ways to manage my stress. And with that, it was things like meditation and prayer and yoga and massage and gratitude, and developing this deep and profound appreciation for nature and for my body, which I then saw as a gift. And those things, which health coaching also encompasses, were more powerful than any drug that I'd ever been on. And that takes us to today. And today I'm pain-free. I have no permanent disability. I'm thriving. I'm working full-time as a health coach. And I'm still constantly trying to improve my health and well-being, because it is a continual journey. And I think just my own experience and understanding the complexity of working in a big corporate environment at the time, trying to raise my young family, dealing with the stress of losing both of my parents, and trying to survive and heal from a chronic disease, I realized that the one thing that was missing was actually a coach in my life. Someone who could have supported me through that process, who could have guided me and held my hand through the process and celebrated my successes, because I really did feel quite alone. And the coach is that person, I believe, that helps one find that delicate balance between your body, your mind, and also your spirit. And I just have such a strong passion for wellness, which I know that everyone who's probably watching this call here today also has the same passion. And the world just needs more of us health coaches right now. This view of healthcare is evolving and we're pioneering the way. So I just hope we can help more people lead these amazing, wonderful, healthy lives.
Thank you for sharing that. You've got such an amazing personal story as well, of going through that journey and finding health. Which aspect of the program would you say really spoke to you the most and you feel is making a major difference in working with your clients right now?
Well, definitely. I mean, the entire FMCA program is so valuable. I mean, there is just such an incredible wealth of knowledge to learn and embrace. Firstly, I must say I felt very reassured that FMCA teaches really proven lifestyle medicine principles that are based on science, coupled with modern coaching techniques. That was important to me because I come originally with a background in science, and my husband is also a conventional Western medicine doctor. So I really needed his support in this journey. But in particular, I think I gained so much from the positive psychology aspect of the course and also all the mind-body medicine techniques. I've used those the most, I would say, with my clients. And I often find that's the missing piece of the puzzle in someone's wellness journey. Lots of people have mentioned here today the live training sessions. I mean, they were invaluable. You know, it's a safe, non-judgmental space where you can really harness your coaching skills. And you also develop such strong bonds and friendships with your cohort group. I mean, my cohort group were all over the world. They were from the UK and Germany and America and even Australia. And we are all still friends today. We even had someone in Hong Kong. And so you never really feel alone. And finally, I must say, the thing that really spoke to me was you, Mahnaz. I was so fortunate to have you as my course facilitator, and I so valued our one-on-one meeting time. I had a lot of self-doubt, changing careers from corporate into health coaching, and you really made me see the skills that I had learned were so valuable and see my own self-worth and give me the bravery, help me find that bravery to just go out there and start. And I thank you for that.
Well, thank you, Tessa. And I think, you know, all the facilitators, you know, they do exactly the same thing, you know, for all of the students on the program. And I just really, really want to thank you, Sonia and Sandy and Tessa, and you know, for Loren, you know, for doing for being coaches, you know, for actually doing all this wonderful work. I mean, it's been really amazing here and informative to hear the diverse ways that you're all using your functional medicine, your FMCHC skills. You know, your work and those of all our graduates, it continues to inspire and make an impact and encourage those who are following their own unique path and calling, and you know, thinking about joining the program as well. So I really want to thank you all from, you know, from my heart. Thank you for everything that you've shared, and I'd like to turn it back to Jen.
If I could just say one thing, I just have to say, wow. I am beyond blown away by all of your stories, your perseverance, the courage. For everyone who's listening, if you heard, I mean, you all have overcome these really big obstacles, and it's just absolutely amazing how you've turned these struggles into your successes and what you're doing and how you're moving forward and wanting to serve other people. And you know, I want to come to your retreats, and, you know, if we could just one day we'll make that as an intention. We can all be together. But I'm just awestruck and very, very grateful for each and every one of your journeys that really brought you to FMCA and to what you're doing now and how you're supporting people and really sharing this important message of how people can own their health and truly elevate their life. I mean, I've heard it in each one of your stories, how you went ahead and took ownership, and it's just a beautiful thing. And I'm so, so grateful to Mahnaz and to Jen for being that, and all of our course facilitators for being that conduit and having the space to, that safe space, like Tessa, you had mentioned, to really try on these new different skills and to get the feedback, Sonia, and, you know, and to be able to actually have these mini transformations and to celebrate those successes. That is just a really, really special gift. So thank you once again for sharing all your stories. And Jen?
Thank you, Elise, and thank you, Mahnaz. And as Elise and Mahnaz said, just thank you both, or all of you, for all of your experience that you've shared. It's just as spellbinding. So I just wanted to, as I touched on before, we have just opened our enrollment for our next class, which will be in March of 2021. You'll all be receiving a recording of this webinar. Hopefully it'll be in your inboxes in the morning, and a link to our website will be included. We encourage you to engage with us and let us know how we can support you. I want to share a very special tidbit that's very important. The standard tuition for FMCA is $7,997 US. Through our association with Functional Medicine Health Coaches Association South Africa, we're able to offer a special discount for prospective FMCA students that are members of FMCASA. The student membership cost of their association is around $500 annually. A link to their website will be provided in the recording that we'll be sending you. And their members are encouraged to reach out to FMCA, we will be able to share a special registration link with you at that point. There are also 3, 6, and 9-month payment plans available. Lorraine and Loren, do you have anything you'd like to add about this?
Not at this point, thanks, Jen. I think just we're looking forward to getting lots more coaches in South Africa. So please join the association and get this discount. We have to thank all of you at FMCA for offering this discount to South Africans. And just as Sandy and everyone said, this is a great opportunity for all of you who are looking for different jobs and things to do to sign up and do this course. I highly, highly recommend it. It really is fantastic.
Yeah, I agree. And we'll honestly give any support, we possibly can to new students and just helping to spread the word. It's a brilliant profession, and it's a new profession, and it's totally one must embrace this concept. It's really amazing, really, really needed. It's really needed.
Thank you, Lorraine and Loren, and thank you again all for joining us. We encourage you to reach out. There'll be an email address included in the email that's admissions@functionalmedicinecoaching.org, and you can schedule time to speak with one of our admissions team members. We look forward to hearing from you. Together, we can make a big difference in the lives of people around the world with the effective combination of health coaching and functional medicine. Thank you so much.
Thanks, everyone. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone.
Thank